So it is now day 3 since we promised to set goals, lose weight, and eat healthier. How's that going for you? Charles D'Angelo, who helped, who was endorsed by President Clinton in his book and helped Senator McCaskill lose, I think, about 52 pounds.
That's right.
Is here to help us not fail. How do we keep the resolutions?
I think something's been missing in everything that's out there. And the first piece, I think, is looking at yourself as a really fit and healthy person, really owning the identity of being healthy, not looking at yourself as undisciplined or overweight, but rather looking at yourself as a fit person that's carrying around extra weight. Because when you have that internal reference, then you're in control of changing your behaviors. But if you look at it as something external to yourself, it's very difficult to really take responsibility.
Charles, do you know how women look at themselves in the mirror? It doesn't matter what you weigh. A woman looks in the mirror and says, oh, I don't know.
And you can use that as a motivation. If you're dissatisfied with how you look, use that as a reference to motivate yourself to change. But don't have that as the only reference. The second thing that I would say is setting attainable and quantifiable goals and not tying yourself just to that number. Really paying attention to other things, how your clothes fit, what people are saying and what you're hearing yourself say, and paying attention to how you're thinking. My book, Think and Grow Thin, has a whole plan in there of how to recondition your mind so that you disconnect the emotion from food and really learn how to reconnect to food in a healthy way.
Not to be a cynic, but that is why they pay me.
Well, I appreciate it.
Forbes magazine says most people will fail at their resolutions by February 1st.
It's so sad, and that goes back to what I said initially. Something's been missing in everything else that's out there. Let's face it, there's no lack of diet books, are there? There's no lack of exercise DVDs or programs. But if all the claims those types of things made were true, you wouldn't see the problem that you just described, or you wouldn't see what's in the airports, the people that are struggling with obesity, and the children now that are struggling with obesity. And my book serves to bring that third leg of the stool that's been missing to the table. That is, how do you think about food, how do you think about exercise, and how do you get the control center in place so that you can learn how to make your resolutions stick and last.
So you're saying look at food as fuel and
That's
not...
part of it, and not really relying on it as emotional support. Learning how to get very, very strategic about your decisions with food and exercise so that you're not relying on that when tragedy strikes in your family or when chaos erupts.
You know, Marianne Williamson, an author, said,
wonderful woman.
Our deepest fear isn't that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond
measure,
beyond measure. And that seems to be the message of your book. Time for a shameless plug. Go ahead.
I got an email today. The West location actually sold out. Amazon, everywhere you want.
Well, because you had some good news today. What happened?
This endorsement from President Clinton was actually mentioned in Time magazine.
All right.
So I was quite blessed and fortunate. And it's not, oh, look how great Charles is, but rather I really, really find that my conviction comes from the pain I went through as a kid, being overweight, bullied, made fun of. And that's why I'm so passionate about trying to help other people.
In fact, you lost 160 pounds.
I sure did.
By doing what's in there?
Yeah, the program that I developed is actually what I not only did in my own life, but what I've taught people to do, thousands now, 2001 people, to take back control of their health habits.
But okay, it sounds good. It sounds great. But in 25 seconds, can you just give us one little nugget to hold on to get us through, at least to make it to bathing suit weather in June, so we keep our resolutions?
Get the book. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
no, I'm just kidding.
I'm
saying the thing that a person can do is set up a set of foods that's consistent. It doesn't need to be necessarily this plan. This one works for a lot of people, but a set of foods so they know what to do ahead of time. So many people walk out the door in the morning, they didn't have breakfast, they don't know when they're going to work out, they don't know what they're going to have for lunch. When you take care of the planning ahead of time, it leaves the result to you controlling. You have the control of it rather than you just depending on your circumstances to determine where you end up.
Charles, thanks so much for your time.
My honor. Thank you so much for having me.
I got some candy at my desk. Can I give it to you?
I'm going to... Oh.
Just kidding.